How's it going, crypto community? This is Jade Martian, back with another article for you today. This time, we have an article from Adrian Barkley at cryptodaily.co.uk titled, A New Wave of Institutional Adoption for Ripple XRP. Now, before we hop into this article, if you could please hit that like, smash that subscribe, and ring that bell, you will be able to get regular content update from me regarding all the latest articles coming out related to Ripple XRP and any partners that are implementing anything that would potentially have an impact upon our greater ecosystem. All right, so without further ado, let's hop into this article. It starts. New reports out this week suggest that Ripple XRP, among other cryptocurrencies, is about to see an exciting new wave of adoption through the world's first bank-owned cryptocurrency exchange. The cryptocurrency in question include XRP, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. The bank in question is SBI Holdings of Japan, who have created a side project known as VC Trade, a cryptocurrency that is owned by and backed by a traditional banking firm, making it the world's first bank-owned crypto exchange. VC Trade was initially established to provide retail-level investment options to normal investors, people who wanted to buy cryptocurrency for personal use. Now, however, according to a recent report, VC Trade will fully open its doors to institutional investors, allowing huge sums of money to flow into the markets and in turn encouraging institutional investment into Bitcoin, XRP, and Ethereum. According to thedailyhodl.com, the first bank-owned crypto exchange plans to expand its services from retail traders to institutional investors. Japan-based SBI Holdings initially geared its exchange VC Trade towards retail traders, allowing people to deal in four cryptocurrencies, including XRP, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Ether. This week, however, an SBI VC spokesperson told Cointelegraph that the exchange plans to expand its focus. The spokesperson from SBI Holdings has said, SBI VC currently offers services only for retail customers. After AML CFT, which for those who are not aware, AML is anti-money laundering, CFT is counter-terrorism measures to prevent the financing of terrorism, essentially. After AML and CFT and custody solutions that we are planning to implement are finalized, we would like to move forward and start providing services to institutional investors. Prioritizing customer asset protection, the SBI Group will make use of its synergies between current businesses, such as securities and FX, which is foreign exchanges, to acquire new customers. By opening their doors to institutional investors, the type of customer that VC Trade will attract really does open up. Institutional investors are looking to make long-term investments with huge sums of money. The reason they want to stash their money in other assets can be debated. However, the facts are pretty clear. When huge waves of money come into the market, buying increases, and so does the price of our investments. If VC Trade start getting a number of big institutions on board, they will start to do better than their rivals. This causes competition that encourages more exchanges to do the same, and thus more institutions to start to invest, causing a snowball effect, or even a bull run. This is what we are all gearing up for, ladies and gentlemen. Make no mistake. XRP, as many like to try and mislead their communities into believing, is not, in fact, rising with Bitcoin, but rather Bitcoin is rising in anticipation of a Ripple partner going live to institutional investors. Yet this partnership is this product is being forged by a bank who is a primary proponent of XRP, right? So, what we can extrapolate from that is that this is really a Ripple facilitated bull run. Even if, because Ripple is the one who worked with SBI Holdings that ultimately has led to the establishment of this exchange, right? Because Yoshitaka Kitao, the chairman of SBI Holdings, has become a massive XRP bull after having met with the team at Ripple and learned how far ahead of the curve they are compared to literally every other contender in this space. So even if this is why I say, often in my videos that Bitcoin will most likely still get a good pump, but at the end of the day, institutional investors are interested not in experimental technologies, but rather utilitized technologies that have utility, right? Technologies that have some effective example that they have a real world use case. At current, Bitcoin does not. Ethereum arguably does. Debatable, I will not weigh in on it because I'm not at all versed on Ethereum as a blockchain. It's actually the biggest gap in my knowledge as far as crypto goes, so it's one that I steer clear of talking about. I just know that it will be ultimately successful to some degree. I just don't know if that will be as a store of value. However, we'll leave it at that. But obviously, I feel a great degree of certainty that we can be assured that at least a significant portion of the institutional volume that we are about to see come into this market in June is going to blow the lid off of this whole place. And this is really why I'm out here promoting this adamantly more than anything, right? Because I really feel that this is the pivotal point in history. This June is the point of pivot for the world, where we go from XRP being 44 cents as of right now, as of me speaking, to a value range that no longer enables the lower to middle class individual interested in cryptocurrency to obtain a large enough amount of XRP to be able to truly experience financial freedom when this asset comes to full maturity. And by full maturity, I don't mean what happens in June. I simply mean that what will come in June will most likely make it extremely challenging, if not also terrifying, due to the rapid increase we will likely see in price. This trend we are witnessing, this event that is about to unfold in Japan, where they now have crystal clear regulation essentially for this emerging marketplace. So this is the date that I'm interested in seeing what happens. June 10th, when this system is supposed to be officially live, right? So I'm very curious to see what happens on June 10th and the subsequent week, how the introduction of institutional investment actually affects this market. And until that time comes to pass, I will remain exuberantly bullish upon XRP and continue to shill as the Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency individuals who dislike this crypto because it is a quote-unquote banker coin. Those individuals can continue to call those of us in the XRP community shills, but at the end of the day, what I am generating is not hype. It is simply presenting you with the facts. And as I can't remember what the journalist was who had said it, but The facts are the facts are the facts. If you don't like the facts, that's okay. The facts don't care about your emotions, unfortunately, right? If they did, the world would be a utopian paradise, right? Because nobody would ever find a event that disagreed with that caused the realization that, oh, my view of the world is based around a faulted narrative, right? So many of us, I feel, have experienced this multiple times over, and I expect that is why you are now listening to this video, due to the fact that you had an open mind. You were open-minded enough to let this revolutionary technology take you over, to pull you into what is going into this mystery of that is blockchain and what's going on here, but also to maintain a level of criticality to your skepticism of what you're being presented through the many narratives present here in cryptocurrency space. And it is my belief, probably biased because I am an XRP investor, but it is my belief that you have arrived here simply because you have spent more time than most doing your research into what blockchain is and into how the ecosystem has moved from blockchain to layer 2 scalability solutions such as the Lightning Network for Bitcoin and Cobalt for Ripple's XRP crypto, right? And also now moving on beyond even layer 2 now to layer 3, which is the interoperability layer, which is this layer that is now being distributed around the world by Ripple Labs to connect all these financial institutions to RippleNet. We have been attacked in this community regularly, and that is why I have to cover FUD articles, as my last video was, to constantly combat this FUD that is being thrown at our crypto by a community of anarchists, essentially, who do not have any interest in cooperating with the institutional financial system. And this is why I think many of them are going to have a really bad hangover in a few years when they realize that their outward rejection of these institutions is going to manifest in those institutions outwardly rejecting them, and doing so by hitting them in the pocketbook, right? Now, that is my suspicion, obviously, that this is the way things are going to play out. I base this upon how things have played out historically in emerging markets such as the internet bubble, the dot-com bubble as it was called, and the internet boom, whatever term you want to use for what we experienced back in 2000. I was a young child at that time, but I was also pretty glued to technology, as it were, so by the time I was 18, I was well informed of, I knew what was happening. I was engrossed in it as it was occurring. And even back then, as a kid, I guess I feel just because I was a young individual, youth are typically, as they say, hip to the new jive, right? So I've always maintained that spirit to foster new innovations, and that's why when I realized back in 2015 that Bitcoin, well, truly realized in 2017 when I bought Bitcoin, that this technology was not just something to be utilized by criminals, but that was going to have a truly revolutionary and groundbreaking impact upon the global community, right? This is the potential for everybody in the world to become connected to a financial ecosystem, which will enable so many people in impoverished nations the ability to start saving, putting away for something, for a rainy day, for the first time in their lives. Imagine that. Imagine not even having the option to put money somewhere safe, right? That you don't even have the ability to acquire money because you're still utilizing barter systems, because your fiats are hyperinflating like in Venezuela right now, right? We live in a very most of us here on the internet live very lush lives compared to the majority of the world, even those of us who may be in poverty in the nations that we reside in, right? And so what we must remember is that there are parts of the world still where people are in such degrees of poverty due to the inaccessibility of financial institutions to help local economies flourish, because the only way that society up until now has created economies is through banks lending money to local companies to help them grow, to help them get off the ground, to help young business owners establish their first business and grow that, and help generate revenue for the economy. Right? These are the basics of economics. If you aren't familiar with these kinds of things, I deeply encourage you to begin researching this kind of stuff too, because this kind of understanding is critical to understanding these markets that you are partaking in right now, right? As Warren Buffett, to quote Warren, to go out on a Warren Buffett quote, patience is the king in investing. And to paraphrase Warren Buffett, never invest in something that you do not feel confident that you can explain to somebody else, right? Something that I've actually found in past few days, actually, as I've begun doing these streams, is I've found a higher degree of certainty in my investment, actually, in Ripple's technology, in XRP, simply due to the fact that as I've been doing these articles, there's so many bits of information that I've collected over the years that I've been clicking, that I've shared with you as these things come to the forefront of my knowledge while reading these articles, that has helped me really solidify already a lot of my understanding about the space that I didn't have before I was doing this series. So even if I don't get a fair amount of followers on this, the people who are here, they're pretty cool people. I enjoy interacting with y'all in chat. Shout out to Ben Howard. Shout out to the XRPist. Shout out to Overdone. Shout out to, oh man, I'm forgetting your name, bro. Max. I can't think of what the crypto tag is at the end, but shout out to you, dude. Thanks for the support. This is going to be my last article for the night. There's still crypto news is 24/7 because crypto is global, right? Truly. So this is going to be my last article for the night. I'm going to go and relax. Have a good night. I hope you have a wonderful night, crypto community. Thank you for your viewership. If you've enjoyed my video, please hit that like, smash that subscribe, ring my bell, put a comment down there in the comment section below saying how much you love me, hate me, flame me, give me some critical feedback, whatever kind of message you want to leave. Just put something there, and that's going to, if nothing else, we can have an engagement. But yeah, I appreciate you tuning in. This has been Jade Martian, and until next time, I'll see you on Mars. Oh man, why now? Almost the whole video, no ad. Oh well, see ya.